bookworm on YouTube. I read too much into things. What a blowhard, what a rube. This is an excuse so I can sing. I bet you thought that parody was from Phantom of the Opera, didn't you? Ooh, so close. It was actually a parody of a song from Love Never Dies, the sequel to Phantom of the Opera. What? You didn't know that there was a sequel to Phantom of the Opera? Oh, you are in for a treat. Keep in mind when I say sequel to Phantom of the Opera, I don't mean sequel to the film. I mean an actual stage musical sequel. And I believe that as of the recording of this video, it is still touring the US. Okay, so I totally saw this show at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, and all I can say is there might be a reason that most musicals don't get a sequel. And that's not to say I hated the show. I didn't. I really didn't. But I didn't hate the show the way I don't hate a rich chocolate dessert. It's not good for me. It has no nutritional value. And it gives me a stomachache. But damn it, I just can't stop indulging. Let's dive into this messy dessert, shall we? The story is a continuation of the lives of Christine Daae, her now husband Raoul, her old friend Meg Giry, and of course the scintillating specter himself, the Phantom of the Opera. It also introduces us to Christine's son, Gustav, as well as three narrator-like ensemble characters named Dr. Gangle, Mr. Squelch, and Miss Fleck. They kinda serve like a Greek chorus. They kinda drive the exposition, but they mainly just set the mood and the eerie, zany theme. And they do it quite well. They're pretty entertaining. The story is not set in France, but Coney Island, 10 years after the events of the first show. Christine and her family are invited to New York so that Christine can sing for Oscar Hammerstein at the opening of the new Manhattan Opera House. There she meets up with her old friend Meg Giry. Meg is now the ooh la la girl in a vaudeville show at an amusement park called Phantasma. The park is owned by, you guessed it, the Phantom. Apparently Meg and her mother helped him flee to America 10 years prior. And something else happened 10 years prior. Apparently, after Christine chose Raoul, she and the Phantom had a romantic rendezvous. And when they meet up on Coney Island and recall the occasion, they sing a song that is basically this. And I banged you, and I screwed you, and I stooped you, we did butt stuff. Okay, enough of that. So long story short, Gustav is the Phantom's son. The Phantom wants Christine to sing in the vaudeville show. Raoul, being the asshole that he is, does not want Christine to sing and makes a bet with the Phantom that she won't if she truly loves her husband. Christine does sing because Raoul, sucks ass. Meg, jealous of her old friend, threatens to kill Gustav, but accidentally kills Christine. And Christine uses her last dying breath to tell Gustav who his true father is. If it sounds like a fan fiction, that's because it's basically a fan fiction. Seriously, it's like Andrew Lloyd Webber scoured fanfiction.net and just ripped off one of the submissions. A friend of mine actually called this fan fiction of the opera. Now that we got the story out of the way, let's talk about the characters. Christine Daae is still the quintessential ingenue, except she's a bit more maternal. While she defies her nasty husband by singing at the Phantasma, she is still a bit simpering. I understand that she has to be sort of a doormat in the first act so that her arc to becoming empowered is more satisfying, but her journey is a bit rushed and uneven. She is quite sympathetic and likable, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more grittiness from her. Raoul is still a dick, but a way more obvious dick in this show. In Phantom of the Opera, he's just a tool, but in Love Never Dies, he is a full-blown alcoholic who gambles his life away and neglects his wife and child. He's almost too much of a douchebag. He even sings a song that is basically just saying, "Wow, I'm a huge asshole. Why does she love me?" Seriously, he might as well just twirl his mustache and tie Christine to the train tracks. The Phantom is just as seductive as he was in the first play. He's still clever and manipulative, and it's clear he still has a sensual control over Christine. In this show, he is much more sympathetic and remorseful in his longing for his past lover. Plus, for a moment, it's kind of endearing to see this genius psychopathic murderer bond with his son. Until you realize that this genius psychopathic murderer is bonding with his son. And I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but I'm way more attracted to Psycho Sexy Phantom than Sweet Puppy Dog Phantom. Meg Giry is, bizarrely enough, the most interesting character in this show. She is constantly trying to gain the Phantom's approval and affection. She deals with a lot of warring emotions. She is ecstatic that her old friend Christine is in Coney Island, but she is also fiercely jealous of her talent and Phantom's love for her. Tragically, her jealousy wins out in the end. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to play her in this show. This show has quite a few problems. The most obvious one is that this show is just so fluffy and melodramatic that it's like watching a Lifetime original movie. The story is self-indulgent at its best and just downright cheesy at its worst. It almost feels like Weber wrote this to placate the Team Phantom, anti-Ral, fangirls, and fanboys. The other problem I have with the show is the music. It's not that it's bad, it's very pretty, it's just forgettable. It doesn't invoke the same emotions that the music in the Phantom of the Opera did. There is no rush of excitement, like when Phantom takes Christine to his underground lair during the song Phantom of the Opera. There is no intimacy like there is in Music of the Night. Your heart never wrenches in a weird mixture of anxiety and arousal like it does during Point of No Return. The songs just aren't as poetic as the original. I mean, Weber worked the phrase, "what a cutie, what a peach," into one of his songs. So, why do I like this show? I look for complexity, but it just gives me fluff. I look for sincerity and all of that stuff. I need depth and meaning. It just gives me shit. Just vaudeville girls preening. Why do I like it? Now, I don't usually like continuations of stories that involve offspring of the main characters. It's not that I don't like kids. It's just I seldom see this plot line done well. However, I find the inclusion of Gustav refreshing. Gustav's dialogue and songs are a perfect mix of innocent and haunting. He is both sweet and kinda creepy, which is exactly what the child of Christine and Phantom would be. Also, Meg Giry is a great antagonist. She can make you feel sorry for her while simultaneously freaking you out. I personally think she makes a better sympathetic villain than the Phantom did in the original show. And lastly, the show is so pretty. I salivated over the costumes and set designs. The Victorian circus theme and staging satisfied every dark craving in my gothic little heart. In summation, this is not a great or even a good show, but it's pretty fun and fanciful, and if you can score cheap or free tickets, I recommend it. Thanks for watching. I'm Betty Bookworm, and I read way too much into things.